Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Oasis.
The entertainment oasis.
We're back with another topic.
What is that topic?
You want to know?
I do.
You really want to know?
I mean, if I don't know, how can I talk about it?
So, the topic is a new animated series from the United States based on Greek mythology called Blood of Zeus. And it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive. And we kind of stumbled upon it as we're,
Bored.
Yeah, we're bored. We're like looking for things to watch. And this one caught our attention and we were not disappointed.
No.
I enjoyed it a lot. Would you like to roll in the premise, or would you like me?
Well, it follows the same type of story you've heard or you've read about in Greek mythology. Half god, half human.
Demigod.
A demigod. Always the son of Zeus.
Yeah.
And it's just like him realizing who he is. His lineage, I guess. And how he adapts to that, and it's your typical demigod story.
It's a typical demigod story, underdog story.
Yeah, but it was better than I imagined it would be, because you do see some of the familiar, I guess, tropes from Greek mythology stories, like, oh, it's like tragedy, and then like, oh, I realize who I am, and then training montage and all that stuff. But it was very enjoyable for a Netflix anime, and they bill it as an anime, not like a Netflix animated series, but like a Netflix anime.
Yeah, and it actually like put that in the intro,
which is kind of cool. It's definitely different than Japanese anime, story-wise. I mean,
story-wise,
and
yeah,
tone, as well as the tone, it's different. Like if you watch
animation,
animation is also different, and yeah, like compared to everything you watch from Japan, and then you watch this, you can tell the difference,
they advertise it as an anime, but like to me, it definitely comes off as just more of an animated show that you'd see like in the United States, kind of similar to something like you'd see from DC or maybe Marvel. Maybe
not Marvel.
Well,
that's
yeah,
like
maybe
very cartoonish.
True. Maybe not Marvel, but definitely DC. It definitely had that more dark undertone. The animation was absolutely stunning, in my opinion. It's one of the best animated shows that I've seen in a good while. What I liked about it is that it had its original characters too. Characters like Heron and his brother Seraphim. They're not original characters from Greek mythology, but they tie in pretty well. Like if you didn't know that, you would think that like, oh, they must be some like they must be some characters like from somewhere in the mythology, but they're really not. But I mean, I think it kind of helps with that because they can kind of do more with like original characters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like a, what do you call it? Like perfect shoe fit. Like it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it just perfectly blends with already established stories in Greek mythology.
Yeah. And just a quick summary of the show. Like I know Mr. Clueless over here touched up on how it's kind of like an underdog story about a demigod kind of realizing his abilities.
And there will be spoilers. Just a heads up.
Yeah, there will be some spoilers. You probably should have said that.
A lot of spoilers.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't go too deep into it.
That's good though. Yeah, it's good.
Story.
But the main premise is, back then the gods were fighting against the Titans, and eventually defeated them. But one of the Titans' last dying breath, it was to put a curse, and I think the gods, or like the earth or something. And they created something called the Giants, which came after the Titans. They rose from the ocean, and then they started battling the gods until they worked out a deal, and basically all the bad giants got sealed away. But then like the show pretty much starts off to where the Giants are going to start making somewhat of a comeback.
Yeah.
And with that, it ties into like classic Greek stuff. You know, like it ties into the fact that Zeus has had many children with mortals too. So like, there's a bunch of demigods in Greek mythology. You know, like a half god, half mortal, which is what our protagonist happens to be, and that ties into Hera's jealousy, which this guy was a total simp.
That's my lady. That's my girl. That's my girl. Like, she's so vengeful.
Oh,
love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
The characters are great though. You got,
you have what, Apollo, you have Ares, Hermes,
Zeus, of course.
Zeus, Poseidon. You don't really see much of Hades until the end.
That's a spoiler, by the way.
Yeah,
that's a big spoiler.
But there's other gods there as well. Others I didn't really like. I know there's more than the ones I mentioned, but some of them I didn't even know who they were. What's that forge master one? Hephaestus?
It might have been Hephaestus.
I think that's his name.
Yeah, I can't remember outside of the popular ones.
Yeah, I think he comes out for a bit during the training montage. But yeah, no, you see a good group of Greek gods in there, and just the story itself, how it plays out after, because the whole giant thing, yes, it ties in a lot with the current story, but that's just like the story about what happened back then is just like a backdrop.
And it sets
the current story.
It sets the premise. Yeah. But what it really follows is, of course, Heron, like what you mentioned, and the fact that when he was born, he had a twin brother.
Yeah.
And the twin brother was supposed to be the rightful heir.
Oh no, I think you glanced over some stuff here. So, spoiler. So, this lady, Heron's mom, Electra.
Oh yeah.
Zeus, being the rapist that he is.
Whoa, not rapist, adulteress. Okay. Because it was consensual.
Technically, Electra didn't know at first that wasn't her husband, because Zeus shapeshifted into her husband, the king.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
I forgot about that.
And he slept with her multiple times, and in her mind, she kept thinking, like, why is my husband, like, from one... Because her husband, the real one, was a jerk to her all the time. So she'd be kind of confused when one day he'd be all loving, the other day he'd be all standoffish and mean. And...
See, I totally forgot about that part in the show.
Yeah, and so when the moments... or the days where he was so loving and caring for her, that wasn't even him. That was Zeus who morphed into him and slept with his wife.
Wow.
So eventually she finds out. He shows himself to her for who he is, and she gets pregnant. And she has twins. One of them is Zeus's kid, which is Heron, and the other is the son of the king, which is...
his name was Seraphim.
Seraphim.
Yeah.
And so when the kids are born... the king doesn't know that she has twins, but the first kid comes out, and it has brown eyes, and the king already had suspicions, so he grabs the baby and he looks at him, and he realizes, okay, yes, this is my son, and he's happy, but then they realize, wait, here comes the other kid.
Here comes the other one.
And that's when, like, he looks at it and it has blue eyes like Zeus, and I think the hair is also a little bit different. So he gets mad, he's gonna kill the kid, and then Zeus pops in and saves the baby. And this is how the twins get split up. Zeus takes the woman, Electra, and the baby, Heron, and he leaves the other kid, Sephiroth, with his dad. But in that same night, the king dies. The mom pushes him off the king, ledge, and he dies. So
but then the uncle steps in and tries to basically usurp the throne, and so he tries to kill Seraphim by just by just dropping him off down a cliff, but he ends up surviving.
Yeah. And
grows up being raised by one of the servants that found him and took pity on him. And yeah, this is gonna be a big spoiler.
No, I think we should build up to it. So that happened.
He had a very rough upbringing.
Yeah, he did. He did. I mean, they both did. Both kids did. Because Heron and his mom went to live in a village where they were treated as outcasts.
Because he was seen as a bastard, basically.
Not only that, but they even make mention that the moment they came to town, that's when like there was that's the day that a never-ending shroud of like fog and cloud like covered the city. So they hadn't seen the sun, the stars, the sky in so long. Then eventually they reveal why that happened, and it's Zeus' way of protecting them from Hera. But yeah, and so that's where the story starts off. Once he's an older man coming of age, and you see his struggles, his mom's struggles. They live in a cave, but yeah, after that, shit goes down. They encounter this woman named Alexia. Her and her brigade come into town. They're in search of some, I guess you can call them demons, but they're humans who ate the flesh of a giant that they found. Yeah. And so they can shift between looking normal like us and then into their demon form, which comes with its perks. Yeah, they basically got tainted by the giant's evil that still wants revenge on all the gods and basically all the world. Eventually, I guess one last thing about the brother is that the uncle eventually finds him. Like he eventually finds out that he survived the fall. Like I think the servant's sister ends up like spilling the beans.
Yeah, spilling the beans about it. He ends up finding the woman who's taking care of him and the son. He tries to murder them. But unbeknownst to him, he gets defended by a group of wild bears. Because
he was raised by bears, so
yeah.
He what do you call it? Established this like brotherly bond with two bears that he grew up with.
Yeah, and he thought it was like, I guess, a coincidence the whole time, but later you find out that it was actually Zeus who pretty much helped him out with the bears and protected him. The son, the brother, because his mom died or whatever, he sought vengeance, and eventually he stumbled upon the corpse of the giant, where he also ended up eating the flesh. And
I think he was the OG who ate the flesh, and then that's when he kind of created his little cult of
that's right.
Yeah, demons.
And he ended up killing all of the sons of the uncle that tried to kill him at the beginning. We probably explained too much of the show. They're not gonna have anything to watch anymore. Maybe we'll have to cut out some of this stuff.
But with that aside, like there's still like way more to the story. This is just the backstories to them that do unfold as the series goes on. But there's like tragedy. There's some moments where a revelation is made, and you're just like, oh god.
Yeah.
It's like no.
There's also just a bunch of action in between all of this. A lot of fighting. Some of the classics that you hope to see, Zeus doing his lightning stuff, and
Zeus thing.
Yeah, and you see Hermes with his. If you're familiar with Hermes, like the god, he's got wings on his shoes or on his feet. Mm-hmm. And in this series, he uses them to like run super fast. He's basically like the Flash. Yeah. He's just like the Flash from.
And I don't know if he had this ability in the stories of Greek mythology, but he can also kind of be invisible too. And he collects the souls of the recently departed, and he ferries them to the underworld.
I think he takes them to the ferry. He doesn't actually ferry them himself.
Well, yeah, he takes them to the underworld where
the guy who's actually ferrying picks them up, which is like a skeleton, I think.
Yeah. Well, it looked weird, but yeah. Anyways, so if you liked Castlevania. Netflix's Castlevania series, you're more than likely going to like Blood of Zeus. It's one of those shows where the more I talk about it, the more spoilers I'm gonna give out, and like he said, at this rate, you're gonna have nothing else to watch because I would have ruined everything for you. But it's just that tension between Zeus and Hera, and it's one of the she becomes one of those characters that you love to hate, or at least I do. Like she is so wicked and Zeus kind of did have it coming, but I kind of feel bad for for all the innocent people who were just collateral damage because of the Zeus's fuck up. And
Yeah, like they were collateral damage in the wake of Hera's vengeful wrath.
mm-hmm.
Like my damn cheating husband.
It's like
that SOB has to pay.
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in the end, we highly recommend this show. It was great. I actually feel like kind of like rewatching it.
Yeah.
There's probably some stuff that I didn't catch.
Some stuff I probably missed, but it definitely does have a rewatchability. And I think it was like maybe 9 episodes. I think
something like that.
It wasn't that long.
And it did end with more than enough room to continue the series,
mm-hmm.
which is something that I really liked. So I'm really hoping to see a season 2. And yeah, if you get a chance,
definitely give it a watch and let us know. Like, I am curious to know if you guys think that it does feel a little bit different than the type of anime you watch from Japan.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it is gonna be different.
Well, that's what, because sometimes I think like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, and then other people are like, no, like they kind of like, I don't know. I feel like there's always a difference of opinion, and I don't know, maybe it's just me who thinks that it feels different. But that's why I passed the question off to you guys.
No, yeah, it does. But well, like at the beginning when you said like, oh, it definitely feels different, like, and you said story-wise, and then I kind of stumbled upon that because plenty of animes also create storylines based on so many different like mythologies and religions.
No, I meant like in terms of like more mature, and I wouldn't say grounded, because I mean it's Greek mythology, so not much you can do with being a grounded storyline. But I don't know.
Do you think the storytelling was more solid than most animes? Is that what you're saying?
More solid than most animes, and more mature. Like the story itself was more mature than the kind of stories you would see in most animes from Japan.
Okay. Yeah, most of them, yeah. But there definitely are some like mature animes out there too. But yeah, this one definitely had like a mature dark undertone to it, and it's definitely something I liked about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you've already seen it, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you thought. And you know what? Shot in the dark, if you by any chance are Greek or you're very familiar with the Greek mythology, let us know what you liked about it, what you disliked about it, things they got right, things they got wrong. Obviously, they made a lot of characters that had nothing to do with Greek mythology, but that was just to kind of, like I said, to give them more leeway on what they can do with like an original character. But yeah, let us know all that good stuff in the comments below.
All right, and yeah, so we hope you guys come back. To hell with Zeus, because he's a jerk.
Yeah,
he's trash.
He forgot about that shape-shifting thing. Yeah, he's
On
trash.
that note, we hope you guys come back to the Oasis.
The Entertainment Oasis. Later, guys. Peace.
Man, Zeus is gonna get canceled.
Oh, but not the show though.
He's gonna get Me Too'd.